What is up everyone, Barricade here and bringing you guys another episode of Gears of War lore. Today we're going to be talking about part 5 of the Hollow comic series. So as we saw in the last issue, Montevado just randomly sank out of nowhere while they were fighting some wretches. And now we are seeing the aftermath of that event. We see Jace is trapped in a hole somewhere and he cannot move. He's trying to speak and call for help, but he can't. He can't even muster any sound at all. And as he's sitting there in that panic, he refers back to the time when he was in a similar situation on E-Day, when after his family was killed by the locusts, he was also trapped by rubble. And as he's laying here trapped, we can see that Dom is looking for him. And we also see a little bit of a cut here where we see Marcus and Barrick killing some wretches and just trying to situate themselves. After this, we see that Dom is trying to save Jace and get the rubble off of him, but Jace is actually covered by a 300-pound block of cement, so he isn't really in the most comfortable spot at this time. And while Dom is getting the rubble off of him, we see that Jace has a similar flashback yet again to his childhood, where he was in an extremely similar situation where he was covered by rubble and saved by Gregory Wizen, the man that runs the orphanage and practically raised him after his parents were killed. After Dom gets the rubble off of him, they realize that they're basically trapped at this point because they really need their lancers to cut their way out. But they only have simply a pistol. Dom has his pistol, his knife, and Jace has a hammer burst that he found. So they're simply making their way through the underground, through the horrible rubble and destruction of the city. And one thing Dom mentions is that he fears that there could be heart leeches around, because this is somewhere where they would typically live. So now he's just telling Jace to watch out for these heart leeches. Now we cut back to Marcus and Barrick, and they're trying to find Dom and Jace, and Barrick wants them to use the Tapcom that would be inside of the robot. But unfortunately the robot is completely destroyed at this point, so they gotta kind of just make their way and hopefully find them. And Marcus actually confronts Barrick about why he's spitting up blood and parts of his lung out and everything. And Barrick, explains to him that after the Lightless bombing, that he contracted rust lung, which is basically a terminal illness, so smoking a cigarette isn't really something bad at this point. We cut back to Jace and Dom making their ways through the tunnels, and they actually run into the heart leeches, which seems like a native species to Sarah. It doesn't really seem like they have any association with the locusts. There's just these giant big bug leech creature things that will attack you in a swarm and kill you. We see they're fighting a bunch of them and they think they're okay, but then they realize there's a lot more than they expected. So it kind of looks like a very bad situation at this point. They're fighting their way out, but luckily we see that Marcus and Barrick show up to save the day because they have lancers. They're able to cut their way in and out and save Jace and Dom. And they just go all out here killing all the heart leeches. And after they escape, they're simply walking through the destroyed ruins of Montevado, and they're simply just kind of thinking, you know what, we're not going to split up anymore, we're just going to stick together until the next day when Baird and Cole come back with the Raven. So they're simply just looking around, just trying to survive, when out of nowhere, of course, the ground shakes and a corpser appears. And it looks like they're going to have to fight the corpser, but it actually retreats, going back into the wall. So for a brief second there, they think they're safe, but we know what that means when a corpser comes out of nowhere and then disappears. It means that things are about to get a lot worse. And we see that the chapter ends here with a bunch of blood mounts about to come out and attack Delta Squad. So if you guys like this video, please definitely hit that like button and subscribe, and tell me what you guys think about part 5 of the Hollow series. This particular chapter was actually quite short. I'm actually really surprised I got through it so quickly. I remember reading it just thinking, wow, this one's pretty quick. It's not really too much stuff going on, pretty actiony, and just kind of just straight to the point. But overall, not a bad chapter at all, and I can't wait to bring you guys part 6 of Hollow, the final part, so we can see what happens at the very end of this particular comic book. After I finish part 6 of Hollow, we will continue with the next comic book series, and we'll go on from there. But anyways guys, thanks for watching guys, and take it easy. Thanks for watching this video. If you want to see my most recent Gears of War video, hit that link on the left. If you want to see any of my other content, hit that link on the right. Thanks for watching, guys.